Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, and when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. And today we are talking about the new W-4. I shared a video previously about how to fill out a W-4, especially as it pertains to two couples working in a household, okay? But I'm still getting a lot of questions, and the main question that I have been getting is, how do you claim exemptions on the new W-4? The short answer is you don't. Okay, the design of this new W-4 has the intention of reducing the amount of refund that people get. Okay, so where in previous iterations of the W-4, you claimed so many exemptions if you wanted more money home in your check. Those exemptions or allowances were equal to the exemption amount of about $4,000, right? It was a little over $4,000, but generally about $4,000. But because the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act took away exemptions, personal exemptions, there are no allowances. So this W-4 has nowhere for you to take out allowances, okay? There's none of that. Now, if you qualify to be tax exempt, there are specific qualifications. If you qualify for that, you just take the new W-4, write exempt across the top, fill out your name and, information and your filing status, sign it, and get, turn that into HR and let it go. Now, one of the things that I will tell you is that this is still very new. So I highly encourage you to still use the paycheck checkup on irs.gov. I would say about every 3 months or so, to really check to see how accurate your withholdings are. You don't want to withhold too much. You don't want to withhold too little. You definitely don't want to withhold too little, because then you get an underpayment penalty. And that's not what you want. Even if it's a couple $100, still, you don't want that. But what this new W-4 does, and the way that it's different from previous versions, is that it takes your tax credits into account. If you review the W-4, it asks you about the child tax credit, or if you have any other type of dependents, which is a dependent credit. It also allows you to a worksheet, to basically to calculate your deductions. If you are itemizing, then there's a place for you to, to enter the amount of your itemized deductions. I don't know what's wrong with me today, but anywho. So with this W-4, you're putting in your tax credits, you're putting in whether or not you're itemizing your deductions or you're taking the standard deduction. Because of the tax code change, there are a lot fewer people who are itemizing than in previous years. So if you are still itemizing, there is a portion of the W-4 worksheet that allows you to tally up what your itemized deductions are. And because right now at the time of this video is tax time, this is going to be a great time to fill out the W-4 if you need to, and do it after you file your taxes, because that's going to give you a lot of information. Now, for my folks who have a full-time job and work part-time on their business, and you have self-employment income, that W-4 is not all that you need. You need to go to the irs.gov website and use their paycheck checkup calculator, because that's going to help you determine how much you need to take out of your check based on your self-employment amount. Okay, so if you project to if you project to really boss out, what does that look like for you? Put those numbers in. Okay, so that's the thing about the W-4, is that this new design is really, it's intended to reduce the amount of refunds that's coming at tax time. So if you have these credits, you are going to get this money throughout the year. You're not going to get a whole lot at the end of the year. It's intended to bring you as close to break even as possible. So you might owe a little bit, you might get a little bit back. This is why you need to watch this, because this is still very new. Do not set it and forget it when it comes down to this W-4. Now, will you have to fill out a new W-4? If you're in your current job, it depends on if the job is going to require that. Some are, some are not. I've heard both from people. However, if you're starting a new job in 2020 and beyond, you are going to have to fill this out. So it is it makes the most sense, and you really need to have your tax return sitting with you. You need to have your pay stubs and all of that. You need to have that handy when you're using this IRS calculator, because it's going to ask you some questions about that. Also, this is an extra tidbit. Take into account too, going into future years, if you've got a kid that is aging out of that child tax credit, you are going to need to make that adjustment. That's going to be $2,000 of a tax credit that you don't have. Okay. That's extra. But listen, the days of manipulating the W-4, they really took a lot of that away because of the whole exemptions being removed and the tax code change. So it's going to be incumbent upon you, and I cannot stress enough for you to mark this in your calendar to go do this checkup to make sure that you are withholding enough or too much or whatever while you have time to adjust. You can't figure this out in December and then try to fix it. That's not enough time. You have to do it throughout the year. No one is going to tell you to go back and check. Nobody is going to, HR is not going to call you. I'm not going to call you. No, put it in your calendar. Take that responsibility to make sure that your withholdings are on par and where they need to be. Okay. But yeah, there's no more claiming 99 allowances on your W-4. All that is gone. Okay. That's gone. So you really need to take the time to go through and fill the thing out. Yeah. And that's it, you guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning into Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we air Monday through Friday, and you can come right here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right. Have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.